Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are all doing well. So Erik Ten Hag can't do no wrong at the minute. Manchester United have won 7 consecutive games. We've won all of our games since the return from the World Cup, only conceding 1 goal in that time as well. Beat Everton to go through to the 4th round of the FA Cup. We got a quarter final in the EFL Cup coming up, and we're sitting in the top 4 of the Premier League. Things are going well at the moment, and you do feel, even if there is going to be a spanner in the works and a defeat here or there, which there will be throughout the season, we're a team in transition. We're a team that are still learning the way of things under Erik Ten Hag, and we're still a team that needs, improvement in various positions in the squad. But even if we do hit a bump in the road, you feel like with Erik Ten Hag, we've got the man that will guide us through that, and you've got the man that is leading us into the right direction and hopefully towards success. And maybe we'll even bring a trophy home this season, because Manchester United are being very competitive at this moment. And I've just got to say, I absolutely love Erik Ten Hag. I really do. From the moment I saw him in pre-season, the way he was... I'm an optimist anyway, you know what I mean? And I'll always be optimistic. But the moment I saw Ten Hag in pre-season, the way he handled the Ronaldo thing, the Maguire thing, the way the team's been playing football and the way we've been improving, the signings that he's made and the success rate of those signings, I look at Erik Ten Hag, a man that is in control, a man that knows what he's doing, and a man that has, real aims. And then we see quotes like we've seen today of him discussing Manchester United's recruitment, and he's absolutely blasted it. And it's exactly what I want to hear from a Manchester United manager. He's not thrown any of his players under the bus. No, that's not what I'm saying. But what he has pointed out is the levels of our recruitment need to improve. Everybody would say our recruitment's been poor over the years. Do you know what I mean? So we're going to get stuck into some of these quotes as well from Erik Ten Hag. But before we do that, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, liking, commenting, sharing, etc. Now, Ten Hag said there was no spirit, and thank you to United Report for these quotes, at Manchester United last season. I saw no team dynamic in the squad. The mental resilience very low. I saw that as an outsider, and also noticed it in my first weeks at the club. I looked at the culture of the club. I asked, how did MUFC become great? That's what he asked himself. And for me, he said, it was about Sir Alex Ferguson. His teams excelled in togetherness, collectivity, spirit. You just couldn't beat them. They always had top strikers like Cantona, Cole, Sheringham, York, Van Nistelrooy, Van Persie, top goalkeepers like Schmeichel, Van der Sar, De Gea, and in the centre there were big personalities like Stan Vidic and Rio. Always a strategist in midfield, Roy Keane the boss, Paul Scholes a magnificent footballer. I think of players like Giggs or Beckham. That's the culture at MUFC. I looked at that very carefully and then saw last season's team look fragile and vulnerable. That we did. He says, when we get players, you look at their quality and technical skills, but you also look at their mental quality, that mental resilience, and we had to bring that back. Now listen to this. The club has bought an unimaginable number of players in recent years who have not been good enough. Here, Mr. Ten Hag. He says most purchases have been average, and at MUFC, average is not good enough. United's shirt weighs heavily. Only real personalities who can perform under great pressure can play here. This is a manager that is demanding the utmost from his players, is demanding the utmost. Look, we try and demand the most from the board. They're going to be gone hopefully soon. With new owners, who knows what this manager could do. If he's given the resources for success, and he's given the ability, the time, the foundations, everything, and he is allowed to like we hear about him taking over the under-23s, and not taking them over like day-to-day running, but influencing the team selection, where players play, what formation they're playing. We want to see a uniform style of play throughout the squads, so that when players make their transition from the 23s to the first team, it's a lot easier for them. He also saw the disconnect between the 23s, the academy, and the first team. It felt like, just the Never region really, where just no man's land. Like players that aren't, obviously have gone through the academy, no longer good enough, like just caught in the middle. There's not enough of a bridge. And obviously United have always had a proud history in their academy, but we've got so much talent in there, and we did really well before the Brexit rules changed in terms of bringing in players like Garnacho and Gerardo, etc. We need to develop those. And he's the right manager to do that as well. He went on and said we needed personalities. That's why the acquisition of Casemiro was so important. Along with Rafael Varane, we now have a second player who has experience of winning titles. Malacia, Martinez, Casemiro, Antony, all fighters. Eriksen is a technical winner and great personality. We want the best of the best. Any players we bring to Man United must meet the highest standard. Again, reiterating that the standards are high at Manchester United. He said, I think we should be satisfied with where we are given the bumps early in the season. We are not yet competitive with City, and I still see that club as a step too high at the moment. We have to do a lot more. He has no doubt that game to game he'll be looking to beat those teams around us, and with the tactics that he has and the players at disposal, we should be able to do that. But our squad is still a long, long way away from where it needs to be. He says, I also expect Liverpool to be right back, and I see them together with City as the two teams to beat in England. Arsenal are having a super season as well. So he goes on to talk about battling for the Champions League, that the competition's huge, and that our aim is to play in the Champions League. And again, we can't get ahead of ourselves. You know, obviously, we want to beat City, we want to beat Arsenal, we want to drag ourselves into a possible position where, who knows, March, April comes around, maybe you've got a chance of winning the league. But we know that if that did happen, it'd be a year, you know, a few years too early. Ten Hag's first season, it's about bringing Champions League football, returning that winning mentality, maybe winning a trophy as well, which would be nice. And, you know, building those foundations for long-term success and actually competing for those trophies so it's not a one-off. So, yeah, I just love this guy, man. United shirt weighs heavily. Only real personalities who can perform under great pressure can play here. Bang on, Erik Ten Hag. And I just feel like we've got the right manager at the right time. Finally, those guys made the right decision somewhere because Erik Ten Hag's the guy. And this isn't off the back of a 3-1 win over Everton or a 3-0. It's on the back of everything that he's done so far. And long may it continue. Things can change very quickly in football. We all know that. But I feel even if we have a bad result, you know, he's a man that's in control and a man that will ultimately steady things and get us going again. Give him I don't think he'll get the resources in January. I think the Glazers are looking to sell. I don't think they're going to really put any more. I don't think there's money there to put into it. So it's going to be the summer, maybe potentially with new owners. But I think we can get Champions League football between now and then. And we can get, you know, potentially a trophy. And that would be a great season going into next season. But Ten Hag's the guy, man. It feels so good at the moment to be a Man United fan and just know that you've got a manager that you can trust. It's weird, isn't it? Anyway, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you're keeping it like, comment, share, and subscribe. How good has Casemiro been, by the way, as well? Absolutely excellent. Marcus Rashford tearing it up. It wasn't their best performance against Everton, but it's a cup game. The important thing is you're in the next round. I think there would have been a little bit of fatigue as well. So many games, you know, over the Christmas period, coming thick and fast. Got Charlton next. Hopefully rest a few players whilst also taking it seriously and making sure we're in the semi-final. And then City game at Old Trafford. Weirdly, I'm feeling really confident about that one. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you later.